Good afternoon. Matthew Welch, October 13th, 2021. Here's a copy of my note card. It just has the structures that we'll be identifying on it. This is the result of the sheep brain dissection that I did this afternoon. And we have some anatomical landmarks and that we want to describe and locate and look at. So I'm going to go ahead and tip the computer down just a little bit to make it easier to show. So when I got the sheep brain, it was together like this here. When it was together like this, I was able to identify a few different structures. First of all, the brain tissue itself was covered in the meninges, and we removed most of those, but you can still see some of the meninges left over here. We have different lobes of the brain, so we have the frontal lobes here at the front. We have the parietal lobes. Here on the sides are the temporal lobes, and on the back we have the occipital lobe. There's these raised areas in the surface of the tissue that are known as gyri, and then the depressed areas that create these little almost like ravines are sulci. We had a longitudinal fissure that ran, kind of separated the two hemispheres of the brain, and then we had a latitudinal fissure that separated the cerebellum from the rest of the brain. Once we were done identifying those structures, we went ahead and made a sagittal cut straight down the middle of the brain to expose the inner parts. And so the structures we want to identify here, we have the cerebral cortex, which is the brain matter all along here. This curved structure through here is the corpus callosum. And then if we look just below the corpus callosum, kind of butting up against it, we have the thalamus here, and then the hypothalamus. If we follow that down from the hypothalamus to this area here, we'll get to the midbrain. And then as we go down, we go through the pons and into the medulla, and then down into the spinal cord. We also have this structure here, which is the cerebellum. Cerebellum is made up of white matter, which you can kind of see the whiter, lighter matter here, and then the gray matter. And then again, you can still see some of the meninges that are exposed. Some other structures that I was able to locate were the pineal gland. We had some olfactory bulbs both sides. We had some of the optic nerves here in the optic pathway, and I was also able to locate a few of the cranial nerves as I was looking my way through this. So pretty interesting. I was surprised at how strong the meninges were. I thought that lining would be a little bit more flimsy, but it was actually very strong, which makes a lot of sense because I've seen patients that have a bleed beneath that layer, and that piece of tissue can really expand and take a lot of pressure. So that was very interesting to see, and how it, as soon as I took those meninges off, how the brain really started to open up, and how that meninge really helps to keep the brain compact and in space. So thank you very much, and have a good day.